entire conversation was going to be literally just me explaining, like, I put this song on, and through a conversation with Herschel over the internet today, I realized that the director of the movie, like, Mike Nichols, died today. And so I felt weird about it. And so that director passed away today. He was a quite lovely man. He made Birdcage, and we all know that Birdcage is good. And so from here, I guess I'm gonna like speak. My father is First Sergeant Horace Bernard Stubbs Sr. From the United States Armed Forces. He is the most pragmatic human being I've ever met in my entire life. His watch is 10 minutes fast and he's 5 minutes early. Like he's like a terribly fair human being. It's so rare when you see someone that has like that much compassion and that much personality, like within like the same vessel. He's a very boring man. Like one thing that I have as a luxury living on Earth is the fact that my parents like raised me and taught me to realize that like as I breathe, I have to understand like the unfathomable power of how I'm not important as like the next person breathing next to me or any other living thing that could possibly exist everywhere in the universe. They were really good at it, and I appreciate it from them. And the fact that within every luxury, this is hard. Within every luxury, like suffering is always like the cousin to happiness. Like my father, going back to him, he's kind of like my prime directive of like this story. Is a very passionate man, but he has very limited passions, and it's his family first. Second is his family first. Second is fishing. Fishing, if he didn't have a family, fishing would be on the top of the list. And the third is pragmatic vehicles, like practical vehicles. Within that, it's bicycles and Volkswagen Beetles, circa 1970 and before. This is how he operates. And so within that, like if you're showing him anything, telling him anything, like he's very patient, he's very friendly, but he really doesn't he gives two shits if it's not within that bracket. He also enjoys smooth jazz. He's really good at it. And so, within that, this story is of the first time I ever accepted death. And when I say accepted death, it's not like me trying to explain oh man, I'm gonna die one day, and that's gonna be a bummer. I'm gonna lose all my stuff, and my family's gonna be sad. But just actually having to go through the experience of being oh shit, I'm gonna die right now. This is what's happening. I guess I did stuff, that was pretty nice. And so there's this lovely beach and this lovely pier in Hampton Roads, and my dad's a fisherman, and so I think I'm 13 years old and just I give zero shits about fishing. I want to play Final Fantasy VII and eat Doritos and drink Dr. Pepper. I have no affection towards it. And he convinces this family trip, and it's my mother, who's Mildred Stubbs, my father, and my cousin Stuart, and we all go. We pack up the car right out to Hampton Roads, and the pier that he decided for that day was this. It's amazing. If you ever have the opportunity to go, even if you don't hunt animals from the sea. It's this mile-long pier that's 726 feet above the ocean. And my dad, being the person that he is, has to walk all the way to the end of it. Because no one walks to the end of it. And so we're out there, and I'm like legitimately fishing with like Cheetos, I don't know. Like I don't care about like catching anything, I'm just there because I have to be. The luxuries of being a child. And I look over this horizon and I start to see storm clouds. And like, me being myself, I'm like, sir, like, oh, I think there's lightning coming from the sky over there. Like, this could be an opportune time to maybe pack up and like leave. And my dad's like, no, it's just heat lightning, it's fine, like, we're good. You caught anything yet? And I'm like, no, not really trying, but have fun. Like, I'm just here. My Game Boy batteries are dead, it's fine. And within like 4 minutes of that conversation, we just heard this one thunder crack. And all of a sudden, we're just in like torrential downpour. And they got to this point, like the second that like the thunder cracked, I saw a bolt hit the ocean. And my cousin and I just instinctively, being like children and inconsiderate, run. And I get I know that like this like magnificent frame isn't anything like special, but like 13-year-old me, it was nothing. Just this chubby pudge. And so I get like maybe like a quarter mile. And I just die. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm done. It's like, all right, well, I'm walking the rest of it. My cousin's gone. And within walking, I'm starting to use logic, and I'm trying to like focus and have like a direction to go into. And I realized like I just left my parents behind in this like horrible condition. And while I'm walking, like legitimately, I'm 726 feet above the ocean. And there are waves crashing in. Somebody died that day, I don't know who, but like they died, it's fine. Like we're all here and we're having a good time. But so I try to go back to get my mom, and it's like I'm on this mission, I'm gonna save her. Like, and I get to this point where like I'm getting bashed up against these rails. And the rails are probably like, I don't know, like 4 feet high. And like I'm gonna get knocked over. Like, this is gonna happen, like, I'm gonna die. And I see this group of people, it was about 6 people that were laying on the ground, holding on to this rail, like holding onto the rails, and like they just like gave up. And I saw this and I was like, I can do that. Like that seems like a reasonable thing to do. That rail looks pretty good right now. And so I like lay down and I'm holding onto this rail with these people, just like kind of like waiting for this storm to pass. And out of nowhere, my mom is storming because I ran off, and she has the mother's concern for a child. And she sees me, and she just goes, "If you don't get the fuck up right now." And at the same time, the entire I just joined a cult, and like I took the punch. I'm good. Like, let's just, we're dying, let's go. And at the same time, this entire death pile gets up thinking that my mom's yelling at everybody. And so we get up, and like we're hustling, but once again, like I was just a chubby fuck. There's nothing going. There was like Mountain Dew and Doritos in my blood. And we're hustling, and I'm like, Mom, I can't run anymore. And she's like, no, we're running. And it's like I'm being fair. Like I'm letting you know, I'm telling you. And so she's finally like, okay, we're gonna walk. And we cordially just like walked with our heads down and our lives like on our backs to the end of this pier. And we get to the end of the pier, and now my mom's finally thinking like, okay, my child's safe. Like my cousin's fine. My cousin's was 13 and 6'2" and weighed 118 pounds. Like he plays basketball. And so we finally get to this end of the pier, and my mom's like starting to rationalize about all the other things that are like important to her. And she's like, oh God, your father. And like my father, this pragmatic man, had packed up all of his shit. He had two tackle boxes, all of this shit, like packed it up, put it on his little dolly, like, and just like comfortably strolls back to like the end of the pier, walks the entire way. And gets there, and I've seen death's eyes. And my dad comes up and he's just like, I lost my wallet. Like that was like the burden of him. And that's the end of my story.